Today we're going to compare the Hotone Ampero with the Valeton GP200. The Hotone Ampero and the Valeton GP200 are relatively new budget modeling units. They're both around maybe €300. And today I would like to compare them as far as the specs go and also sound wise, because as you may know, I created presets for both of these units, and also I'm selling these preset packs. So if you like my sounds and if you would like to purchase them, please send me a private notification on Facebook. Then you can get it for very few money. And anyway, so first of all, let me open the editor for you. It's here, and here is the GP200. Currently I'm playing one patch from my preset pack. As you can see, here is the effects chain, and I've explained both of these units in detail in other videos. So if you would like to know more about these, please watch them, but I will give you a brief overview. You can see that you have here the pre and the mod and the dist section. Basically three blocks where you can add effects. In the dist section, it's more or less a stomp boxes, which you can add, but also some things like distortions, overdrives, and what else? Acoustic simulator, which is also a stomp box. Yeah, great. And in the pre-section, you have a little bit of a mix, compressors, also some boosters, acoustic boosters, and also a pitch shifter, tape saturation, as you can see, ring modulation. And the choruses, flanges, and phasers you can find only here in the mod block, together with some detuning, vibe, and so they're basically three blocks which come with different different effects. Then you have one EQ block with a 5-band graphic EQs, guitar EQ1, EQ2, 2 for bass, the Mesa 5-band graphic EQ, and also a 10-band graphic EQ. And of course you have the wahs here. They are basically the Vox, Crybaby, Petrucci, some other wahs. And the gates here, the ISP decimator is modeled. You have another gate, which is maybe more flexible. And the amp block. And the cap block here. And both units, they come with more or less the same amp models and the same caps. But here, in the cap block, you have, you can only apply alone a high cut. You can apply maybe a microphone like in the other unit, which I will show you in a second. Then you have the reverb block, where they added nice stereo reverbs like the concert, the club, arena, maybe the studio, with a recent firmware update. And also in the delay section, they added nice ambience delays, which are also stereo. Here the first 5 delays, they are new and stereo. Then the unit comes with an effects loop, where you can insert your favorite external effects, and also it has foot switches. So here you can see the layout of the unit. Basically 8 foot switches. Each foot switch can be assigned to 2 functions. And also if you press 2 together, then you can assign another function. And the volume pedal has also 2 functions. Volume, and then you can, if you press it harder, then it will switch to another mode where you can control parameters or something. That's it for the GP200. Here you have the Hotone Ampero, and it's basically a similar chain. You don't have the effects loop, so you can not enter additional effects. But you have 3 effects blocks. In this case, they come more or less with the same effects, at least the FX1 and FX2 has it all, the drives, the some gates, some auto wars, the usual wars, the choruses, flanges, phasers, and so on. It's basically the same here. And the FX3 you have only a subset, I think, of the other ones. A little bit less, so no drive blocks, I think. You can move these effects blocks around the chain here and as you want. That is also the case in the GP200. As I said, you have more or less the same amp models like in the GP200, and the same caps. You can also load in third-party ARs. But here you have the ability to apply a microphone. So, for example, let me just engage the noise gate here, or set a little bit higher, that you don't hear the background noise. Now I'm playing the Ampero, and here you can see in the cap section I'm using the UK green speaker. Without a microphone simulation, it sounds like this. You can apply a microphone and you can move that around. And then the sound is changing. You can also move it closer to the speaker. Or move it away from the speaker. So honestly, it sounds really nice to me, and it's very flexible, so there's no need for an additional EQ here in most of my patches. Just to make it complete, on the delay section I'm missing the stereo delays, and also in the reverb section I'm missing the stereo reverbs, which again they came in the GP200 with a later firmware, so maybe it's possible that here they will add them too. So let's compare some sounds which I created. So here is the DK Powerball sound from my Ampero Tatjana 1 pack. Maybe we can turn off the delay. And in the GP200, I think we can also find the Powerball. The Ampero again. So you can hear that there's a difference, but it was not my goal to make them sound exactly the same. Usually I'm dialing in the tones which the best tones I can get are with each unit. But I think these units, they're somehow maybe similar, or they're maybe using the same algorithms for cabs and also amps, maybe for the effects. Maybe the two companies are somehow related. I think so. So here it would be interesting if we choose maybe the same settings, or at least similar settings here in the Super Overdrive, the Powerball. Maybe you can set everything to 12 o'clock. And here we can choose the modified Marshall, no high cut, and no EQ. So that's basically only distortion, amp and cap. And if we do the same here, of course we have to dial that in first, sorry, super overdrive, somewhere like that. No EQ, and here I will use the same cap like in the Valeton. Valeton. So maybe you can hear that they sound more or less the same. And I will not do this for every effect, no, for every amp, but I think if you want them to sound the same, it's possible. But of course, as I said, here you can use different microphones and change the sound by moving the microphone around, which you cannot do with the GP200. So yeah, let's compare some sounds and some amp models, which I dialed in here. So here is the 5505. GP200. Here I'm using the OD9, so maybe let's check out the 808. Of course, I'm also using another cap here. The Hotone. One thing where you can always hear a difference is when you're playing high solo notes. And the GP200. Sound both nice. I don't know if you can hear the difference in the video, but here on my studio monitors there is a slight difference. What else can we compare? Well, here we have the JCM 800 patch. And in the GP200, similar. Here we have a Freedman. Lots of bass frequencies. Hotone. It sounds also very similar to me. Yeah, I don't use the same caps as I said. Here I'm using the greenback with the condenser mic, and in the GP200 I'm using the Marshall Modern, UK Modern I think, but with this graphic EQ. The result is very similar. It's a little bit well, surprising. I have to apply hi-cut sometimes here, because the Hotone Ampero, yeah, the highs are a little bit smoother, I think, here in this UK greenback, but it comes from the microphone position here. So the greenback by itself, it doesn't work that well with my additional EQ. So what else can we check out? Maybe the Recto Vintage. Here there's a difference maybe, or the difference is more obvious. And the Hotone. Yeah, so I think we can go on forever to compare these units, but they are very close, and if you choose the same settings, they're identical, I think. So, well, let's check out the Savage. Way more scooped here. Maybe a little bit too much for my taste. The Angle Savage is one of my favorite metal amps. I own the real amp, but sounds a little bit harsh in these units for my taste. So here I would rather prefer the Recto or also the Marshall amps and also the diesel. So VH4. And here. Okay, here I dialed in a completely different tone. So, yeah, what else can we compare? I think maybe the Plexi. And in the GP200, oh sorry, where do we have Plexi here? So, yeah, I think the amps are, of course, they're the same quality because maybe they're identical. Also the caps. So what are the things you should consider if you are choosing between these two ones? From my opinion, it's more or less the flexibility which you are getting with the GP200. For example, in the GP200, as I said, you have the 8 foot switches. I'll show you that again. And each foot switch can be assigned to 2 modes. As in the other unit, you have only 4 foot switches. You can also assign 2 modes, tap and hold. But of course, here you have twice as much. Also, what is very nice to have are the controls. Here you have up to 4 controls, and a control is a maybe I can show you that. Here it's a subset of blocks which are activated or deactivated. So it always depends on the state of the block. If you're choosing, for example, control 1 here, and you're choosing maybe these 3 blocks here, then if you push the control 1, which can be assigned to any of the foot switches, if you push the control 1 or the foot switch that is assigned to control 1, then these 3 blocks are either activated or deactivated, depending on the state they are in currently. And all the 3 blocks here. And you can address all blocks here with it, one control. Then you can assign another control to another foot switch, and you can choose different blocks which are turned on or off here. And that makes it also very flexible. So you can make basically different, not scenes, but different subsets of your patch, if that makes sense. And you can do that in the Hotone Ampero. But the thing here is you have only one control. So yeah, you can also choose here, but you can assign this one control to one foot switch, and that's it, and not 4 like in the other unit. So it's way less flexible, this concept. And the other things are are similar, like yeah, bank up or down and patches and so on. But yeah, so the GP200 is more flexible in a live situation. And you should consider this. Also, if you would like to incorporate it in your MIDI setup with other rack gear or other effects gear that is MIDI controlled, then of course the GP200 is the winner. And also if you would like to use a 4-cable method with your amp, that's only possible with the GP200. On the other hand, as I said, here you have this gorgeous cab block with the microphones. And it's like in the newer DSP plugins, you can move it around. It's not behaving identically to the real mic placement, but nonetheless, it's very effective. So that makes it really, really nice to handle. And what else? Yeah, also you have here the Parametric EQ, 4-band Parametric EQ, which has some bugs, I think. If you turn down the Q, then the sound will disappear, but it might be a bug which they will fix in a later firmware. And that is also something which is, of course, very flexible. It's the most flexible EQ you can imagine. Way more flexible than these 5-band graphic EQs or even than the 10-band graphic EQ. So that is only available here. On the other hand, the GP200 has the nice stereo ambience delays. Maybe I can show you them shortly. Which you don't have in the other unit. For example, here you have this ambience delay going from side to side. So that is also missing in the Hotone Ampero. Maybe it's a difficult question if you choose between these two. But yeah, I didn't know that they're identically as far as the effects and amps and cab algorithms are concerned. But yeah, my opinion, that's the case. So of course, please purchase my preset packs for all of these units, also the NUX MG-30 and the AxeFx III, Fractal Audio FM9, Kemper, Mooer GE300, and of course subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.